Apocalyptic visuals of the massive wind-driven wildfires seen spreading on the ground in California, also spreading on social media. Many residents going online to document their experiences as authorities scramble to contain the blazes and prevent further damage.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get out of here. We tried, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, this video posted on social media platform Instagram shows two men making a harrowing escape from a house engulfed by flames. The terrifying blazes have leveled whole streets in just a few seconds, torching vehicles and trees alike. Others who attempted to flee faced traffic jams, which prompted them to abandon their cars. And those vehicles ended up blocking the path for more people, causing many to be trapped longer in areas affected by the fires.
Just be okay. You're gonna be okay. Hi. You're gonna be okay.
But not all were in a rush to leave. Despite being told to evacuate immediately, some residents choose to hunker down in their homes. Authorities have warned against it, and they say that a large portion of those who refused to leave suffered severe injuries. More than 100,000 people have been evacuated and over 1,000 structures destroyed. A preliminary report has put the total damage and economic loss from the cluster of fires ravaging California at $52 billion. Well, for more, we have David Acuña from the Public Information Office of Cal Fire. He's joining us from Sacramento, California. David, thank you so much for joining us. While wildfires are a regular occurrence in California, this season really seems to be particularly intense. Perhaps you could let us know what makes this fire season so unprecedented.
Well, thank you for letting me speak today. And you're absolutely right. In fact, you used the correct term, season, which we used to refer to fire seasons back when I first started fighting fires. But now we are having fires all year long. We had a few fires on December 30th, December 31st. And now, as you can see, January 7th and 8th, we're on to some extreme major fires. This is only the third time in the last 30 years that we've had such a major fire this early in the year.
Firefighters say that the scale and intensity of the fires have been overwhelming. And being a firefighter yourself, what is the strategy really to contain blazes of this magnitude? What's the biggest challenge that firefighters face?
Well, by far, it's the wind. So wildfires move for three reasons: because of the fuel, the wind, or the topography. Fuel being the grass, the brush, and in this case, the houses that lay across the landscape. The wind is the major factor, running 60 to 100 miles per hour. And then, of course, we do have the topography. And in this area, as you can see in the video, it's a foothill. So it's areas that rise up and down gently. But what that causes is that wind quickly moves amongst the box canyons, gaining speed and pushing the fire even faster through these houses.
Right. And because we know the landscape, we know how California is. It's very known for being very hot and dry at the same time. What could have been done more to manage this better?
So there are some things that simply we cannot control. There are areas that people have moved into because they like being able to be away from the hustle and bustle of the large city. But when it's in these narrow canyons, that's just simply putting people in areas that are dangerous. On top of that, because there's homes, we don't regularly have fires, which is a good thing, except when we do have one fire come through every 50 or 100 years, and then you see the sites like you're showing in the video.
Right. And just interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, there was an $18 million cut to the fire department's budget, prior which, and the fire chief said that this would affect response to large-scale emergencies. Has this funding cut affected firefighting efforts and response times during this crisis?
So we were fortunate because we got to move a number of resources down from the north part of California where there is a significant amount of rain and snow already. And so we brought them down when we knew we were going to have this very damaging wind event. So now that we have these fires and there's call for more resources, we're bringing more resources down from the further parts of the state, as well as we're in agreements with a state like Oregon, who is sending us firefighters as well.
Right. And the number of extreme fire conditions has been rising, not just in California, but globally. Perhaps you could lay out for us what lessons can we all learn from the recent fires in California?
So one of the big things to take away from this is the preparedness, and it translates well because whether you're prepared for a wildfire, a typhoon, earthquake, it doesn't matter. Having the grab and go box, knowing where you would go for human shelters, pet shelters, livestock shelters, all of these things are incredibly important to plan for in advance. And when you take the time to do it, many of the residents that I've heard talk to this last couple of days have said, gosh, I wish I had planned more. And so this is one of the things that we're trying to enhance is please begin planning immediately. It's not too late for some of our folks that haven't had a fire in their area. We're continuing to have these winds through today and into tomorrow, so there is still a significant risk.
Well, David, one last question before we let you go. As you mentioned earlier, this whole crisis, this whole situation came too early. And rain didn't really arrive until long after the summer dry season, resulting in obviously the air becoming more drier and hotter. How specifically is global warming really altering, the conditions that California is facing, making it more extreme?
So global warming is having an effect in terms of it's changing the way the storms and the climate moves. So in the summer, we're now getting a longer wet season, which is better for our drought conditions. However, it leads to a longer growing season for grass and brush, so that when it comes to the fall and summer, it begins to dry out and then becomes very dangerous as it is prepared to burn. And as of now, we should have a significant amount of rain. However, we don't, and we don't have any significant rain in the forecast. So all of this, we're sort of rolling with the punches. We don't know what's going to happen next. And so we're just waiting to see, and we're ready to respond.
Well, let's just hope the situation comes under control real soon. Stay safe till then. Thank you so much, David Acuña from the Public Information Office of CAL FIRE.